Yeah, well, this morning I needed to put a new water spigot here in my milk house. Yeah, it's the water spigot right here at our sink. Here's the old spigot. I should have took a video here before I changed it, but this thing was really old. I remember changing it years ago. I don't remember when it would have been, but yeah, it was a long, long time ago. My daughter this morning thought maybe it was as old as whenever we built the parlor, but I know it ain't that old because I changed it sometime after my dad passed away, so probably at least 25, 30 years ago. But the one side of the spigot broke off, and I tried to take that the shutoff valve part out of the spigot and took it in here to a local hardware store that's usually known to have about anything, and they didn't have any like this. It was a weird, kind of a weird design. It was offset down inside, and so yeah, we were using a pair of pliers to turn it on and off here for a couple days, and so I went and got a new one. Just trying to decide what to do here for sure. There was a union right here that you could take apart, but it's galvanized and hasn't been apart probably ever since I changed the spigot. I put a couple pipe wrenches on it. Man, there was no moving that whatsoever. I was like, man, how in the world? The old galvanized water line coming up out of the ground is getting a little, yeah, like it is. And the hot water had leaked underground years ago, so we ran a copper line over to it and cut off the hot water line that came up out of the floor. So yeah, I was debating how I could do this and not get into a royal mess, because yeah, if this galvanized line here broke anywhere, it's all rusty, and if you know how galvanized lines get inside over the years, they get corroded and built up in there. And so the thought came to my mind was the spigots that we had the same pipes coming down off of them. So I thought, well, what would happen if I would just cut off this spigot or the pipe and get another plastic union and stick above this one? So that's what I did. I took a cut off blade on a side grinder and just cut that off. I probably should have cut this off just a little bit. I left it full length, so it raised the spigot up another 3-4 inches, but it should still be okay. We fill a bucket of water up here every now and then. You just sit the bucket in the sink and fill it up. It still should work out okay. So anyhow, yeah, it's all because I was like, man, this the easiest thing would have been, I even went online to see if I could find a new shutoff valve for in this spigot, and yeah, I couldn't. Well, the thing's so old I couldn't even find a name brand on it anywhere. I'm assuming there would have been at one point in time, but yeah, there was nowhere you could see a name brand on it. It's so corroded and pitted, and so, but I went online looking for shutoff valves on water spigots like this and couldn't find anything. And all of a sudden the other day this idea came to my mind, so thankful I thought about that. But yeah, it's kind of interesting how us farmers, we need to be plumbers and mechanics is somewhat. We do some of our own mechanics. We need to be carpenters. We do a lot of fixing with that kind of stuff, and electricians. I don't get into a lot of electrical work, but I know enough to change motors and rewire some things. But anyhow, thankful I thought about that. It probably saved myself a lot of trouble versus trying to figure out how to get them unions apart, or trying to ended up breaking pipes or something. So we'll go on with our day and see what else we get. Yeah, well, when you think you've seen it all, you're just not quite sure anymore. We had a calf born here about a month early, probably, roughly. I think that's about when it would be. And it has 2 heads. It has 3 ears, 2 noses, and then 2 heads, but they're combined. It has 4 eyes. And this might be kind of gross to some people, but it's never seen the likes. Years and years ago, probably about the time I was born or before I was born, my dad used to have a couple pigs, and they had a little pig born that had 2 heads. We still have some pictures of that, but it has some other deformities too. Its back feet, its back ankles are all messed up, and it actually has an open spine. This might be kind of gross to some people, but yeah, this is kind of the way it is. Yeah, the 2 heads is probably the weirdest thing in this whole combination. I don't know what causes that. I've seen already with them born with an open spine or deformed tail and rump, but we've never had one that I can remember of as far as a calf born with two heads. Today is Monday, and we took some cows to auction this morning. We stopped at a store on the way home, and my wife was like, "Do you know you got wires sticking out of your one trailer tire?" And I'm like, "No." Anyway, man, I can't believe that thing didn't blow. We had a full load of cows that went today, so yeah, I'm thankful it didn't. We had a really good spare that we had put on new probably a year or so ago, so we'll take this back and get a new tire put on it. Looks are deceiving today. It's nice and sunny and bright out, but it's really cold. I'd say really cold. It never got out of the 30s, and it's really breezy and windy, so it's chilly. When you first look outside, you think, oh man, it almost looks like it ought to be about 50 degrees out here. But talking about some more snow tonight. About a week ago, they said there was about 3 different storms coming through in the next 10 days, and they weren't wrong. We had a couple different ones already, and tomorrow, I think I said tonight, but tomorrow tomorrow afternoon it's supposed to start snowing and snow throughout the night, maybe into Wednesday, and I think at this point they're saying 2 to 4 inches. Don't sound like it's a whole lot, but yeah, and then it's kind of up and down for the next week or so as far as temperatures. Yeah, we had one heifer calf born here earlier today. Her mom needs left out tomorrow morning. Little red and white Holstein heifer calf.
Getting ready to milk here. The dogs are here. They're just begging for treats. Teddy Brud has his bunny, and his bunny's gonna need some surgery. The ears are, oh wait, that ear has a tear in it. But they tore the hand off. So, anyways, poor bunny. We got some of our friends here. There's Sherbert. There's Teddy. We left his bunny back there. There's Penny. And there's Nemo. And Finnegan. And Carmen. And Dusty's over there. Anyhow, these cats will show up. They're waiting on their milk. You need meow. Meow. You kitties need some milk? You need a drink of milk? Meow. Gonna drink some milk, Penny?
Yeah, well, good morning. This morning is Tuesday, February the 11th, I believe it is. Yeah, my wife Lois and I are milking here again this morning. But yeah, maybe I'll do a brief introduction. We have gotten some new subscribers in the last while, but yeah, we are Arlen and Lois Hagee. We dairy farm here in South Central PA. Milk right around 300 cows. I think we're milking rated 310 now. We have 3 children, and they're all involved in the farm. Willie is our oldest son, married to Jody. We have a little grandson, Flynn. He's about 6 months old now, I think. I mean, actually almost 7, yeah. And then our daughter, Lori, and then our youngest son, Alex, and his wife, Diana. But, yeah, they're all involved in the farm, but we also have, for years, have had a couple different school-age young people helping us milk, mainly in the afternoon milkings, but yeah, once in a while they help some in the mornings too, especially if some of us go away or somebody's sick or needs off or something. But yeah, I did want to mention, I don't think I've ever said anything about the one guy's man that had helped us for a number of years. He would actually be my wife's cousin, and his name is Reagan. And for those of you that know us would know who he is. But he would have worked for us here on the farm for about 20 years. He would have had some mental handicap and not been able to do everything that most of us can do, but yet he can do a lot. And he had helped us milk for close to 20 years. He'd be 2 months younger than me, so he's almost my age. And he had worked for us for a lot of years. And he, I think he started working for us about the time he got out of school, and he was right around 40 and started having a little more trouble with his legs and wasn't quite as steady on his feet. So he needed to do something different after that. And not like that at all. He was always wanting to come milk. But yeah, it's just kind of the way it was. And then the sad thing is, probably, I don't know, it's probably at least 3 years ago now, he had a stroke and it paralyzed his one side. So he's in a wheelchair now and in a nursing home facility, kind of a rehab nursing home facility. But yeah, we still see him from time to time, not near as much as we used to. But Dragon, if you're watching, I'll tell you hi. I think you watch all of our videos. But yeah, he was always a good worker. There was always some challenges along the way at times, but he always did. He did really good with milking cows, and he always enjoyed it. Our parlor mascot's in here. Teddy always likes to be in here when we're milking, especially if it's a little colder out. It wasn't supposed to get very cold last night, but it got down, I think it was 22 when we got up, maybe, Fahrenheit. Here's one of our bulls. Sometimes they come in the parlor and sometimes they don't. Yeah, he's here waiting on his turn. On Tuesday mornings when Lois and I milk together, our puppies hang around in the barn about the whole milking, or our dogs. And part of it, she always brings a whole pocket full of treats along and feeds them while we're milking. So they're always waiting on their next treat. The red one is Penny and the yellow one is Teddy. We got a fresh new coating of snow last night, probably got about an inch. They're acting like it's supposed to quit here this morning, and then later today there's another storm system coming through tonight. Sounds like it's supposed to be about the same. We're getting ready to milk. We always bring the skid loader up to the freestall barn and open the door to let the cows out. And then we push the silage out while the cows are coming out. The silage that's left over from yesterday. We have a roller door here on the end of our freestall barn, and yeah, the cows are usually, a bunch of them are waiting, ready to roll. It's probably usually, I don't know, anywhere from 40 to 60 of them here, kind of waiting at the end and in the alleys to be ready to let out. Yeah, I'm not sure if I ever showed this before or not. I think I've talked about it before, but our water line from our well to the barn is not in the ground very deep. We live in an area with its limestone soil, and there's a lot of rocks underground. Apparently they started hitting rocks, and there's one time we had to dig down for the water line, and it's not more than 14 to 16 inches in the ground, but every now and then you can see this right here. You can tell the exact line where it is, and depends on the weather. Like on a day when it gets this is maybe the second time we've seen this winter, but if the ground's really cold and frozen, you won't notice this. But if it's right about freezing and stuff's laying everywhere else, you can see the distinct line where the water line goes out to the barn. The snow's all melted from the warmth of the water pipe. And I think one time my dad might have had the water line freeze, and I forget what he did to get it thawed out. That would have been when I was young, or maybe even before I was born. But whenever it gets bitter cold, like that weather we had below zero and stuff, we let the water trickle in the milk house a little bit on those cold nights. And the cattle drink a lot of water too, so I'm sure it would stay open without that, but we don't want to take any chances. But so yeah, anyhow, I think that's always kind of neat, but it would not be neat if we had frozen water pipes. Yeah, over the course of the winter, there gets to be a lot of extra silage over here along the wall here in the feed lanes. We're going to try to clean that up here this afternoon. It's not near as cold out. Let's get that all cleaned up. Yeah, we probably do that 2 or 3 times a year. Probably should do it a little bit more often. It looks a lot better with it cleaned up. Yeah, we have this bull penned up here again today. He's the one that we had caught a while back and collected semen off of him. There's a guy coming today to score him to see how he scores. So hopefully he'll do okay. We just penned him up here by himself, and he is not impressed about that. We soon need to get rid of him. We got quite a few cows bred to him, and we've been kind of holding off here a little bit until we get him scored. He's never really acted mean towards anybody as far as coming at you, but he sure lets you know that he's a bull, and yeah, when they start acting like that, it's time to move him on.